Hey guys, hi, Rahul Said from Nova Sky Institute. Very nice Airbnb that I got for my team and I when we are spending our time here in KL for a few days. And I want to talk to all of you on tuning in right now about a recent news that the Singapore government mentioned yesterday to all of Singaporeans. And this is something some of us don't really care why the Singapore government does this. Some of us are very upset that the Singapore government is doing this, but some of us don't even know what's happening. Okay, I'm talking about GST. GST for the past many years has been set at 7%. And to be frank, 7% compared to our Malaysian neighbours here, to all the Malaysians here, yours are very low. Your GST rate is very low at 6%. We have been living with 7% GST for very long, and right now in 2 years time, our GST will progressively increase to 9, 10, 11%. I don't know how many percent, but it's definitely going to increase. So I'm going to talk to you about this for the next 5-10 minutes. Alright, so just stay tuned with me throughout to the end of the video. I want to share with you strategies on how rich people, how people who really invest well, who knows how to do investment very well, they don't care what is the rate of GST that the government sets upon them. You know, countries like UK, all the developed countries, the GST is as high as 20-25% even. So us at 7%, we're actually getting it quite good. So I'm going to take you to some research that I've done on how some people have used these strategies to earn beyond market average returns and ensure that any form of GST hike does not affect them at all. The research is right down there, and let's go on to it. Alright, and as mentioned, if you look at the screen right here, Singapore is going to be expecting a GST hike in the next 2 years, 2 years from now, to 9%. And 9%, if you put it in perspective, for every $1,000 that you spend, $90 goes towards the government for tax. If it's 10,000, it's 900. If it's 100,000, it's 9,000. If it's a million, it's $90,000 worth of GST tax that you are paying to the government. Now, it depends on how you look at it. In Singapore, we are considered quite low in terms of developed countries. If you look at the particular table here, ours is at 7 to 9%. Right? So Malaysia has one of the lowest in the region at 6%, below Taiwan and Hong Kong. But Hong Kong and Taiwan is lower, but we will not talk about that. But Malaysia, 6% GST rate, and Singapore, in 2 years time, it will be 9%. So how do we exactly implement strategies, do away with worrying about GST hikes? I want to show you some research that I did. In the US, in something that I have been specializing in for the past few years, tax lien investing is something that a lot of investors, institutional investors especially, they buy to ensure that they earn returns beyond market average. So what do I mean by that? Now, in the upcoming auction in the state of Nebraska, I want to share with you where exactly is Nebraska. So if you look at Nebraska, alright, Nebraska is right in the middle of the US. That's Nebraska. Okay, so Nebraska is having one of the best auctions in the entire country, whereby they give a guaranteed 14% returns on any investment. There's no 16, there's no below that, there's no above that, just 14% flat on anything that you invest in. Now, for some of you savvy investors, you will know 14% is considered high in the world of investment returns. Now, in Nebraska, that is by law. The law assures your returns of 14% or something will happen. Now, let's just go through it in a few steps. I want to show you some of the auctions that is up and coming. So I was looking at Nebraska, Douglas County. Okay, this is Douglas County. I've opened some of the tabs to make it easier so that we don't have to wait for the page to load. So when I click on preview items for sale, this is the county assessor, treasurer. Click on preview items for sale. This list of properties, tax lien, this property tax lien will appear. There are in total 4,866 tax liens on sale next month. And that's a lot of tax lien for anyone around the world to buy. Now, this is just one county. Nebraska, from my understanding, has 80 over counties, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's about 80 over counties. Now, this one county alone has 4,000, almost 5,000 tax liens on sale, each and every one of them to give you returns of 14% per annum. That's it, the law guarantees that. if you look at it, I have sieved out some of the items. If I were to click on face amount on page 1, alright, let's just go to page 1, they will see a list of tax liens on sale, alright, and some as high as 569,000, some as low as $27. Okay, some as low as $27. I will show you first the one that is here. Okay, I have opened up, I have done some of my research. As high as 569,000 for the tax lien price, the value of the property that you are buying against. So the tax lien to be sold to you is $569,000, but the value of the property, right, is $23 million, almost 24 million. The ratio of your collateral, in case if the tax lien buyer, the homeowner or the property owner did not pay you off the 14%, you are guaranteed by law to receive his property worth almost $24 million. Now that's a 42 times whatever amount that you invested in the first place. Now I have pulled out a range of tax lien prices as low as $390, $2,500. So if you look at the pricing here, or the market value, the market price of the property, they are about 40 to 50 times the amount that you pay for in a tax lien. Okay, so this $390, what exactly is it? So it's a residential property. So this is the property in question. This is the tax lien in question. When I found the tax lien, this is the property. Okay, if I click on the image, don't worry about this. Okay, now this is the property itself. It is a residential property, and the market value is about $20,000. Okay, and that's for this particular tax lien 001065, $390. Market value $20,000. Now, for those of you with limited budget, you'll probably be looking at this type of tax lien. If those of you with slightly higher budget, you can look at probably the $2,500 and $16,000 over dollars tax lien, which I've already opened the page here. So this property, alright, this property here is a very nice piece of residential property, and that's the value for the investment of $2,561. A $16,000, this bottom three is residential properties. $16,000 tax lien will give you an even nicer property. An even nicer property, and the value of $744,000. So imagine, right, how your investment works for you. You buy a tax lien of $16,000, and the government says you are to receive 14% returns. Here, 16,000.46. In year 1, you are expected to receive $19,000 in returns. In year 2, it will be $21,000 in returns. In year 3, it's $24,000 in returns. That's a 16% year-on-year returns. Imagine how it will affect your overall investment performance. If you are not able to afford $16,000, then look at something cheaper, because there's a range of properties. There's a range of prices for tax liens in the US, as low as a few dollars to as high as a few $100,000 or a few $1 million. Depends on what you can afford. For a $500,000 property, $500,000 tax lien, you can expect the property value to be as such, 24 million, almost 24 million in value. 42 times whatever that you paid for. If you pay $569,000, you can expect, I just put 569 here, your returns is tremendous. $842,000 in year 3. That's a year-on-year returns compounded. And how will it be different for you? Rather than needing to worry about how the stock market performs, rather than needing to worry about whether will the company fold or whatever, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because the government guarantees your returns. If the homeowner is not able to pay off the 14% to you, what will happen is you will be deeded the property. You will be given that property valued at $24 million right here. Alright, as you can see, $24 million. Let me show you the particular property. This is a piece of hotel. If you see the hotel value, this particular hotel, the value is $24 million. Now guys, I did not doctor this by myself. These are values given to me by the county government. And for an investment of 569,000, I'm either guaranteed to receive at the end of year 1 648,000, or I will receive the property after 3 years of non-payment. Okay, if you are confused on what this means, what do you mean by non-payment, what do you mean by getting the property, fret not, don't worry about it. This is when I come in and help to explain to you in person, in a live event if possible. Okay, all I want to share with you is what are the possibilities for you to change your investment portfolio when you acquire tax lien that the law guarantees you this kind of returns. Okay, and the next one is a fitness center. It's a fitness center and a value of $4 million. Investment required $99,000, almost $100,000. That's it. You require $100,000 for year 1 of taxes that they don't pay, and then of course subsequently you have to pay off. You have to buy another subsequent taxes that will be offered to you later on by the county government. That is something else to be explained at another time. And in this case that you see here, the property is 42 times the value, 51 times the value of whatever you put in. So in fact, when you buy tax lien, some people go like this: I'm buying tax lien and I'm praying so much that the homeowner or the property owner don't pay, so that I will receive a property that is worth 52 times whatever I invested in. Remember, I put in $390 and my money works 51 times harder for me. Wouldn't that be a sweet deal for all of you? 51 times, 42 times, whatever. This is the value of the property compared to whatever investment you have inputted in, right? So this is what you do. You buy a tax lien, you research, you buy, and then you wait. You wait, and then you pray that the previous owner don't pay, so you can get the property. Okay? Alright, so I want to explain this more and more in person, but I have limited time to share with you. I have hundreds and hundreds of case studies to share with you. We don't have the time. I want to share with you in person. Join me at a live event that's up and coming. On the list below, the details are all below in this post that you're probably watching. Watch this video in full again if you're unsure. Then join me at the live event. Alright? And I will be more than happy to share with you how this works in detail. Okay, so again, my name is Raul Syed. I'm from Noble Sky Institute. See you soon.